Hi guys, today I will be presenting my research proposal paper on the relationship between aerobic exercise and depressive symptoms among college sophomore students. Depression is becoming a major concern for college students around the world. This proposal is focused on sophomore students because they could be at a higher risk. Sophomore students at this point are past the excitement phase of college, but they still face academic pressure, fitting in socially, and planning a future. All of these stressors can lead to feelings of anxiety and depression. Although treatments are helpful, it can be difficult to find accessible and affordable mental health solutions. This is why this proposal focuses on one low-cost, evidence-based option. Previous studies have shown that aerobic exercise, things like running, cycling, or swimming, can improve emotional regulation and reduce stress. For example, a 2025 study in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience found that aerobic activity actually changes brain areas related to mood regulation, such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Other studies shown that exercise increases endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, which improve mood and overall mental health. Although there are multiple studies, there aren't much studies that are focused specifically on college sophomores. The goal of this study is to examine whether aerobic exercise can reduce depressive symptoms in sophomore college students. We hypothesize that students who regularly participate in aerobic exercise will report lower depression scores compared to those who stick to their normal routines. This study plans to recruit 100 full-time sophomore students between the ages of 18 and 21. Participants will be randomly assigned to one of the two groups, an exercise group and a control group. The exercise group will engage in 30 minutes of aerobic activity like running, cycling, or swimming 3 times a week for 3 weeks. Following, the control group will continue with their normal routines for the 3 weeks as well. In this study, depression levels are measured using the General Health Questionnaire 12, a self-administered test used to detect minor psychiatric disorders and assess emotional and psychological well-being. The questionnaire has 12 items rated on a 5-point Likert scale, from 1 being strongly disagree to 1 to 5 strongly agree. Higher scores indicate higher levels of depression symptoms. The questionnaire is widely used for college student samples because it's simple and reliable for online or academic studies on mental health. Research has shown that the questionnaire has a strong reliability and validity, including a Cronbach's alpha of 0.70, confirming it accurately measures psychological functioning among university students. The International Physical Activity Questionnaire will measure aerobic exercise behavior. The questionnaire measures the frequency, duration, and intensity of physical activity. Participants will report how often and how long they engage in activities like walking, running, cycling, swimming during the week. The questionnaire results are expressed as metabolic equivalent minutes per week, which combines time and intensity of each activity. These activities being vigorous activities, moderate activities, and light activities. These scores are then summed to produce a total physical activity score for each participant. This study will be conducted online using Qualtrics, which is a secure survey platform. After receiving an IRB approval, participants will be informed about the study, give informed consent, and complete basic questions. They will then take 2 standardized questionnaires, the GHQ-12 to measure depression levels and the IPAQ to measure physical activity. Participants will be randomly assigned to one of the two groups, the exercise group and the control group. The exercise group will complete 30 minutes of aerobic exercise 3 times a week for 3 weeks, logging their workouts through Qualtrics. The control group will continue their regular routines without changing their exercise habits and also log their information through Qualtrics. Both groups will receive weekly reminders to log their activities. After 3 weeks, all participants will complete a follow-up survey using the same GHQ-12, and the IPAQ to compare changes in depression and physical levels. Data will be securely stored, and participants will receive a debriefing explaining the study's purpose, results, and resources for maintaining physical and mental. Since the study will use self-developed measures, scoring procedures were created to produce overall scores for aerobic exercise and depression levels, which were the IPAQ and the GHQ-12. The collected data will be analyzed using descriptive statistics, which are like means, standard deviations, and frequencies to describe participants' characteristics. For the IPAQ, total weekly physical activity will be calculated in metabolic equivalent of task minutes per week, with 8.0 meds for vigorous activity, 4.0 for moderate, and 3.3 for low intensity. To test the hypothesis, aerobic exercise reduces depression, and ANOVA will be run in JASP comparing pre-test and post-test depression scores between the exercise and control groups. Additionally, a Pearson's correlation will examine the relationship between aerobic activity and depression levels across all participants. Once we have analyzed all of the results, if they support the hypothesis of the study could provide evidence that aerobic exercise positively impacts mental health among college sophomores. The findings could also help colleges and universities strengthen their wellness programs by adding aerobic exercise options that may help reduce depressive symptoms during the stressful transition into college life. Overall, this study could highlight that exercise is a low-cost and accessible strategy for improving mental health in young adults in college.